Sagittarius, this is your October 2022 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading. It's Romy here. Thanks so much for taking the time to tune into my channel. We are opening up with the energy of the Nine of Wands, and there is an intensity about this month that feels perhaps at times you're pushing water uphill, and yet there is a sense of perseverance that's going to help you to get something over the line, or to recommit, or to dig deep and find something within you to be able to keep going and keep moving forward. I think there's also this element of you really questioning quite deeply the levels of trust you have around something. Perhaps your trust of the process, your trust in the universe, your trust in someone else, or even in yourself, and your ability to get this right, to figure it out, to know if you're on the right path. And you're going to get answers this month, is what I want to say. The most important thing I think you can take away in terms of how to navigate through the energy that's going to be emerging in October is to stop and check in with your physical body, and to really ask its consent for what you're about to say in any moment, any action that you're about to take, any energy that you have to absorb. Because in that pause, when you get to stop and listen, you're going to get very clear indication as to whether this is for your highest and best good. And that's going to help you to conserve if you feel a bit depleted in any specific area, okay? So that mind-body connection, vital as you also get to acclimatize yourself with the ways in which you're expanding and changing. And there may be, honestly, a level of exhaustion from the amount of expansion and embodiment that you've had to go through as you've been integrating, especially during all of this retrograde energy. Now listen, this month we're going to welcome Mercury, Pluto and Saturn all shifting direct, which is wonderful because to a certain degree what you start to feel is that the floodgates have opened, things that have been delayed and held back all of a sudden getting a green light, communication opening up. And yet there is then a requirement, the onus is on us to start to walk our talk and to really be able to deliver against the internal dialogue that we have been having with ourselves this past few weeks and months about the lessons that we've learned in our own life. And there's an intimacy about this month. It's deeply personal. Each and every one of us are having this conversation with the universe right now. And many of us struggling and fighting with the expansion and what we're being asked to do and how we're being asked to change. Now, even when there are mistakes that have been made, Sagittarius, I want you to remember that that doesn't have to fill you with terror. It's an opportunity for you to clarify what's truly important and what feels truer for you now that you know what you know. So there's something about this month where you might look back and realize, I wished I hadn't done it that way, or I wish I hadn't said that, or it might just be a little bit of regret that comes up. But even if you define it as a mistake, there are truly no mistakes. There's only ever an experience. I need you to remember that. Now, the Five of Wands talks about this conflict, and just generally, you've got this energy of feeling like it's a fight right now. You know, sometimes we need to remember we're not a machine, so we have to make these seasonal adjustments. How can you allow yourself to be more fluid, to flow through this time? Now we're going to be coming into a full moon in Aries on the 9th of the month, fellow fire energy, and I have a feeling it's around that time that there's maybe going to be a little bit of chaos, a little bit of drama that's unfolding. It might not be anything to do with you. In fact, you look like you're witnessing kind of something that's playing out around you, but I have a feeling it might cause some conflict for you simply because you're seeing where something might lead. I almost have this kind of view that You might be wishing someone's not going to do what they're about to do. It's like you can see that they're going to take it all the way, and that might cause a fracture line or something that is going to feel much more challenging to repair. You may feel a little bit helpless or unable to know what to do or what to say to stop that from happening. And sometimes we're not meant to. Sometimes at a soul level, these experiences and situations are meant to play out in the way that they are. So around that full moon, I think it could be a little bit unsettling in terms of some of the things that you're observing, but at the same time I also think that fire is going to help to spark something within you and actually give you the wherewithal to be able to dig deep within yourself and find what it's going to take for you to keep going and to persevere, and also to kind of almost have a new dialogue with yourself around these issues of trust. And perhaps that's directly connected to boundaries as well. And it's one of the things that's been coming out in the soul stories, and the reminder, of course, that our boundaries are truly reflected to our own value system and what we choose to tolerate and to not tolerate, not about what we try to project onto someone else as saying what they can and cannot do, because that puts us into an energy of being disempowered or trying to force somebody. And that's not what we're here to remember in terms of how much we've changed and how we're evolving. Now, your Page of Cups is coming through, and I think that somebody is stepping forward with an apology or with news or with communication that after it having felt a little bit challenging, a bit fractious, there might have been a little bit of distance or separation, there seems to now be like a soothing and a more balanced opportunity to revisit a situation. I think that you are definitely open. I feel this is the thing with you this month, even though there may be this sense of slight uncertainty or doubt, I don't see you blocking anything. And I think that's really important. I think hear people out. Let situations unfold. It's one of these months, as I said, it's so layered that you're not supposed to take things at direct face value, because there's an awful lot going on beneath the surface, behind the scenes, that perhaps you're not being privy to, but information is going to start to flood out, especially as we approach that eclipse, new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio coming in on the 25th of the month. And during that time, I think the revelations can be really significant in terms of how these trajectory shifts take place. What you might come to realize then is that the way something unfolded actually ended up protecting you or putting you in a stronger position than you might have otherwise have been. And so there is this sense of your guides wanting to kind of distract you with things that are going to be more fortuitous and helpful for where you're going. Again, just disconnecting from the drama. It's easy to plug into the circus and, feel into that vibrational energy that's, really bringing in the scarcity. And of course, then sparking up and churning up all of that fear in the nervous system. But here for you, we have this kind of discipline of just saying, I'm going to direct my energy, especially where there might be some frustration, some edginess, even anger that's kind of been built up because either you've absorbed a little bit too much of other people's energy by way of attachments, or you yourself are just feeling a little bit powerless in any given situation. But here we have something incredibly positive that's coming from that. And actually, I have a sense of people feeling quite in awe of you in terms of the way that you handle something, or what you're able to kind of alchemize by way of a tough situation and really spin something from it that ends up really serving you well and actually showing others. There's a definite indication that you can lead by example in this instance. I think especially where there are groups. I remember when we are in Libra energy, we're working with the 11th house, which is connected into technology, to your hopes and dreams, but also groups, communities, friendships. And so there's some shift and change going on in that. And with that eclipse energy being felt quite strongly, you might have some surprising situations that arise with regards to groups that you're a part of, or friendships or teams, something like this. But I think people are looking to you, wondering what you're going to do, wondering how you're going to handle something or what you're going to say. I think if you're able to, Sagittarius, kind of hold back from perhaps what your true feelings are, just take a beat, take a breath, and really think about What's going to help me to leave this situation with an energy of love, which I know might be quite challenging in certain instances. But remember, like, your energy stays, it lingers, it has impact and influence. We talked about that last month. And so if you're able to be in a situation and either through not saying anything or saying something that takes the sting out of it and really brings in something more positive, then what you're left with is a deeper sense of balance and peace within your own nervous system. But you also then really allow other people to understand the way in which they're meant to be handling this situation. You don't have to blame yourself for how you feel. We definitely want to acknowledge what's going on within you, but we can definitely love, accept, and soothe our way back to a more peaceful place because of it. Okay, so as we work our way through the month and we come into Scorpio season, Venus is also going to come into Scorpio on the 23rd, the same day that the Sun does. And we're coming into 12th house for you at that point. And there's this wave of deeper release energy that's taking place. And you are looking back. There's a quiet, reflective energy. So I think after the fight, after the turmoil and the chaos, you're managing to find some sense of harmony or equilibrium. And that's affording you the time and energy to actually look at something specific that has played out in the last few weeks. And I think really come to a place of understanding how you truly feel about it, because you may have even been in this kind of energy of confusion for quite some time and just not really knowing what it is that you wanted to do, how you wanted to handle it. And so it just had to kind of be parked for a while. It was a little bit open-ended. But this time, I think that you're coming into this place where what you want is to feel engaged, you want to feel peaceful, you want to feel nourished and regulated. And what's that going to take? And so you yourself know whether relationship connections need to change, if you need to make a bigger, bolder move for yourself. And I know we often talk about big breakthroughs, but honestly, I feel for you that the healing and the shifts have been found in the very unglamorous, monotonous, quite tedious process of just consistently showing up for yourself and trying to be strong. And I think that's what's caused some of that depletion and exhaustion, understandably so. But what has also been carved out as a result of this, Sagittarius, is quite a strong sense of faith now that you actually know what the best thing for you is in this moment. And as you're able to do that, then you're being able to command and harness like a different understanding of the ways in which to say yes to things that you know are good for you. Now, the Four of Cups suggests that we need to be a little bit mindful of some of the choices that are coming your way. In fact, there's almost this sense of tiredness, I think, from you in hearing people continuously trying to tell you that they have the answer, they have the way forward. You may be just feeling a little bit disillusioned as well in regards to the process. I do have this, if you have had a bit of a crisis of faith, or people that, you know, you were really connected and sort of respected and inspired by, and just kind of feeling like you've lost that, and there's just a little bit of that numbness that's going on for you. Sometimes it's just the way that the universe wants to work with us so that we can restore and rejuvenate our own natural energy levels. And sometimes we've taken so much of an energetic imprint from somebody else that we kind of lose ourselves, we lose our own authentic essence. And so I have the feeling that there's a stronger message in October, and there's so much energy swirling around. We're also going to have Mars moving into retrograde in the sign of Gemini, which is your 7th house of relationships. So that's happening on the 30th. You'll feel the shadow of it earlier in the month, and it's going to be working in this cycle for a few weeks. And so it is going to have a bit of an impact in terms of slowing things down, losing a bit of momentum and focus, but at the same time it can really support poring over the details and getting things right to perhaps bring some passion back into a relationship or a connection if it's been lost or it's felt a bit lackluster. So there's lots of opportunities for meaningful progress and change, but you might be having to do things a little bit differently than you've ever done them before. I think that's a good thing for you. I think you're welcome and ready to kind of feel that you can have a bit of a gear change a little bit through the course of this month, and that's also going to support you in opening up to new ways to bring in a sense of more significant abundance around you, so that you're not aligning with that scarcity energy that's being perpetuated in the circus. So let's go ahead and pull the additional 3 cards. These are going to form part of our extended reading, Sagittarius. So you can find the link for the reading in the comment and the description box underneath. If you're new to the channel, we will talk for another 20-25 minutes to give you deeper insight. I'm going to invite you right now to just think about a personal question that might not have come up in this main spread, and we'll go ahead and pull you a couple of cards for that as well. All the decks that I use are in the comment section listed below as well. Okay, so let's clarify this 9 of Wands for you just now. 2 of Cups coming in here. 5 of Pentacles. There's that lack and scarcity that we talked about coming through a little bit. 8 of Pentacles. You do have a clear way forward in terms of how you navigate this. There's a lot of relationship emphasis coming through here for some of you. 10 of Cups. Nice. Another Page of Cups here. Could be water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio that's relevant here. Also your gifts being really utilized in a beautiful way, I'm seeing. Okay, 6 of Wands. Emperor. Alright, let's go ahead and just pull you some Oracle cards just now for this reading for October, Sagittarius. So this is Life Soul Vision Oracle, my new deck, which is now out for general release. You can find all of the details and see all the cards previewed over on my website. What card have we got for you? Beautiful. Spirit Wolf, certainty of trust. Well, we talked about your whole relationship to trust being under the microscope this month, but we'll go into more detail in the extended reading. And Kyle Gray's Angelic Prayer Oracle. Who do we have? Archangel Haniel, honor your feelings. Beautiful. Sagittarius, thanks so much for tuning in. And if you're joining me for the extended, I look forward to continuing this conversation. Otherwise, I wish you beautiful blessings for this month ahead. Enjoy the journey, and I'll see you again next time. Take care.